the unforgivable betrayal when Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar shattered everything we believed in. You know what makes my blood boil? What absolutely disgusts me about what went down? It's not just that Roman Reigns returned. It's not just that Brock Lesnar showed up out of nowhere. It's the fact that Paul Heyman, the man who stood by Roman through everything, who sacrificed his relationship with Brock, who literally built the tribal chief into the longest reigning Universal Champion in history, got absolutely decimated for his loyalty. And Solo Sikoa, the Vision, everything they built while Roman was gone, destroyed in one night. This wasn't just a return. This was a calculated execution of trust, loyalty, and family. And if you're not furious about how this played out, then you haven't been paying attention. Let me paint you the picture of the ultimate betrayal in WWE history. Roman Reigns disappeared, vanished, left his family hanging at the worst possible moment. And who picked up the pieces? Paul Heyman tried. Solo Sikoa stepped up. The bloodline didn't just survive without Roman, they evolved. They became something different. Solo created his own vision. He brought in Tamar Tonga, Tona Loa, and Jacob Fatu. These weren't just replacements, this was evolution. This was Solo proving he could lead, that he wasn't just Roman's enforcer, that he was a tribal chief in his own right. But here's where it gets interesting, and here's where my anger reaches a boiling point. Paul Heyman was caught in the middle. The wise man was torn between the tribal chief who abandoned him and the new tribal chief who needed him. And what did Paul do? He tried to play both sides. He tried to maintain loyalty to Roman while respecting Solo's leadership. Was it perfect? No. Was it messy? Absolutely. But it was human. It was real. And for that, he paid the ultimate price. Quick question for you in the comments, do you think Paul Heyman deserved what happened to him, or was he the ultimate victim in all of this? Now let's talk about the return. Roman Reigns comes back, and everyone loses their minds. The tribal chief is back. The head of the table has returned. But wait, there's a twist that nobody saw coming. Standing next to Roman Reigns is Brock Lesnar, the same Brock Lesnar who had a legendary feud with Roman, the same Brock Lesnar who Paul Heyman abandoned to stand with Roman, the same Brock Lesnar who represents everything Roman claimed to stand against. They are together, they are united, and they have one target, complete and total destruction. Think about the audacity of this alliance. Roman and Brock have given us some of the most brutal matches in WWE history. WrestleMania 31, WrestleMania 34, SummerSlam 2018, Crown Jewel. These two men hate each other, right? Wrong. It was all business. And now they've realized that together, they are unstoppable. They are the two most dominant forces in WWE history, and they've decided that everything that happened in Roman's absence needs to be erased. The attack was methodical. It was brutal. Roman and Brock didn't just show up for a surprise appearance. They showed up for war. Solo Sikoa, who had been carrying the bloodline on his back, didn't stand a chance. Tamar Tonga and Tona Loa ragdolled like they were nothing. Jacob Fatu, the most dangerous member of Solo's vision, even he couldn't withstand the combined assault of the original tribal chief and the beast incarnate. But here's what really makes me sick. It's what they did to Paul Heyman, the man who made Roman Reigns. Before Paul Heyman, Roman was getting booed out of every arena. The fans hated him. They rejected him at every turn. And who turned that around? Who crafted the tribal chief character? Who gave Roman the promos, the presence, the legitimacy? Paul Heyman. And how does Roman repay him? Drop in the comments who benefited more from their partnership, Roman Reigns or Paul Heyman? They destroyed him. Not just physically, though the beating was savage, but emotionally, psychologically. Paul was on his knees, begging, trying to explain, trying to make Roman understand that he was loyal, that he was trying to hold things together, that he never betrayed the tribal chief. And what did Roman do? He looked at Brock, they nodded, and they demolished the wise man. F5 after F5. Superman punch after Superman punch. Paul Heyman, a 60-year-old man, was beaten down like a common enemy, not like family, not like the man who dedicated years of his life to making Roman the star he became. Like trash. And the worst part, Roman showed no emotion, no hesitation, no remorse. The tribal chief had become something darker, something more ruthless, something that doesn't care about loyalty or family or history. Let's talk about what this means for Solo Sikoa and the Vision. Solo spent months building something. He proved himself as a leader. He showed that the bloodline could exist, could thrive, without Roman Reigns. He brought in legitimate warriors. He won matches. He held down the fort. And in one night, all of that was invalidated. Roman didn't just beat Solo, he erased him. He sent a message that said, nothing you did mattered. Nothing you built was legitimate. There is only one tribal chief, and everything else is pretend. That's not just defeating your rival, that's crushing someone's spirit. That's telling your own family member that they'll never measure up, that they'll never be good enough, that their accomplishments mean nothing. How is Solo supposed to come back from that? How is he supposed to look his team in the eyes and tell them they can stand against Roman and Brock? The psychological damage might be even worse than the physical beating. Question for the Wrestling Zone 1 community: can Solo Psycho ever recover from this humiliation, or is his time as a main event player already over? And let's address the elephant in the room, the Brock Lesnar factor. Why would Brock align with Roman? What's in it for the beast? Here's my theory, and it's going to make you angry. Brock doesn't care about Roman. He doesn't care about the bloodline. He doesn't care about WWE politics or storylines or family drama. Brock Lesnar cares about dominance and money, and someone, maybe Roman, maybe someone pulling strings behind the scenes, offered him something he couldn't refuse. Maybe it's main event matches. Maybe it's creative control. Maybe it's a massive contract. But whatever it is, Brock sold out every principle, every rivalry, every bit of history for profit. And you know what? That's the most Brock Lesnar thing ever. The man has always been about business. He left WWE for UFC. He came back for money. He shows up when the price is right. So why wouldn't he team with Roman if the numbers made sense? The problem is that this makes both of them look like mercenaries with no loyalty, no honor, and no respect for the business. They are not heroes. They are not even villains in the traditional sense. They are corporate destroyers who will align with anyone if it serves their interests. The WWE universe is divided right now. Some fans are excited to see Roman back. Some fans think the Roman-Brock alliance is the most exciting thing in wrestling. But others, and I count myself in this group, are disgusted by the betrayal, the brutality, and the complete disregard for everything that matters in professional wrestling. Loyalty should mean something. Family should mean something. History should mean something. But Roman and Brock just proved that none of that matters when you're at the top. Here's what needs to happen next. Solo Psycho needs to rise up. He needs to gather what's left of his vision, recruit some heavyweights who aren't afraid of Roman and Brock, and he needs to go to war. Not just for revenge, though that's certainly part of it, but for validation. To prove that what he built was real. To prove that he is a legitimate leader. To prove that Roman Reigns isn't untouchable. Paul Heyman, if he's even able to walk after that beating, he needs to make a decision. Does he crawl back to Roman, broken and subservient? Does he try to rebuild with Solo? Or does he do something nobody expects and find new clients who will appreciate his genius? Imagine Paul Heyman managing a new faction dedicated to taking down Roman and Brock. That would be poetic justice. Final question for you: what should Paul Heyman do next? Stay loyal to Roman, join Solo's vision, or start something completely new? This storyline has controversy written all over it. It's brutal, it's shocking, it's uncomfortable, and that's exactly what makes it compelling television. WWE has created a situation where there are no clear heroes, where loyalty is punished, where the most ruthless win. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar have formed an unholy alliance that threatens to destroy everything and everyone in their path. The question now is, who can stop them? Who has the courage, the strength, and the will to stand up to two of the most dominant forces in WWE history? Solo Psycho tried and failed. Paul Heyman tried to navigate the situation and got destroyed. The entire WWE locker room should be terrified right now, because if Roman and Brock can do this to their own family, imagine what they'll do to everyone else. This is just the beginning of what could be the most destructive era in WWE history. Roman Reigns has returned, but he's not the tribal chief we remember. He's something darker. He's aligned with the one man who can match his brutality, and together, they've declared war on everything the bloodline became in his absence. The vision is shattered. Paul Heyman is broken. And the WWE universe is left wondering, what have we unleashed? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team Roman and Brock, or are you standing with Solo and Paul? And make sure you share this video, because this conversation is just getting started.